everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and in sort of the contractual obligations sort of video about Brie Larson, this might be the last one, at least until Endgame. I'm kind of getting a little done with her, and I'm kind of like, I really want to talk about Godzilla, and I really want to talk about Shazam, and I really want to talk about the Orville, and there's a lot of awesome stuff to talk about. And Endgame, when Endgame comes out, this is probably going to be the last, unless something major happens. I don't know if I'm going to make any more sort of Brie Larson-y sort of videos. I just had this thought, though. So remember her little speech at that awards show, the Crystal Award for Excellence in Film, where she's talking about A Wrinkle in Time and how she doesn't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell her what works in a movie. Well, I mean, I guess if you don't remember that, let's pull up the clip, this little clip here.
Am I saying that I hate white dudes? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is...
Baby, convince herself.
If you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is an insanely low chance a woman of color will have the chance to see your movie and review your movie.
That's bullshit! Have you not seen Rotten Tomatoes? Like 90% of the reviewers and critics that they prefer are the more diverse, women of color, women from the LGBT sites, men from the LGBT sites, men from and men and women of the ethnic sort of, that's who they prefer a lot of the times. Here's my thought, though. Her whole, nobody knows who she is. She's an Oscar-winning actress, right? I have another whole video where basically on Twitter, on Netflix, they had to go out of their way to say who she is, right? They had to go and say, okay, she's a director, writer, she won an Oscar, because people are like, who the hell is Brie Larson? What if her whole virtue signaling stuff is just to get her name out there, just so we talk about her, and that's kind of one of my theories with a lot of these people. Look at Kelly Marie Tran from who played Rose Tico in The Last Jedi, right? Her whole name is out there. People know who she is now because of that little stupid PR stunt narrative that they went with, where she was quote unquote bullied off of social media, which never actually happened. Right? So people kind of go with these narratives just to get people talking about the thing that they're trying to promote. What if Brie Larson's whole entire social justice warrior attitude and mentality isn't something she actually believes in, but it is something her publicist told her to do, because she's talking here about her publicist in this interview. She's talking about, it could be, instead of thanking my publicist, who I love dearly, right? And this is one of the tactics that they do use all the time in the media. They use the tactic of, okay, how do we get the celebrity's name out there? How do we let people know who this person is? So I'm wondering, here's my thought process. What if this is all just a PR stunt, just her little TSA agent stunt, the Stan Lee photo? What if somebody is there telling her what to say that is going to get the most reaction out of the internet, whether it's good or bad? Because here's the thing, in this day and age, you're always going to have somebody defend you no matter what stupid thing you say. And in this day and age, it's, do I hate white dudes? No. And that's a good message, right? Diversity is always a good message. Giving people of all walks of life the opportunity and the ability to do whatever job that they're qualified for. Absolutely, that's a great message. I don't think anybody can disagree with it. But when they kind of go about it the way they do, and they spin it the way they do, and it really feels to me like a lot of it is just to get people's names out there. Because seriously, she's not super memorable. She's very, very generic looking, very boring looking, very much not movie star quality at all. I wouldn't recognize her walking down the street. I would pass her at a Cold Stone or something, or at the mall or the movie theater, and I wouldn't even know she's famous. And I talk about her a lot, right? And I'm kind of to the point where I don't know if I want to bring any more attention to her after this video, because what if we're just contributing to this cycle of Hollywood and the media and all that stuff, where by talking about it, by having a reaction, by having an opinion, it keeps perpetuating their fame and their celebrity in an entirely undeserved manner, just from the controversy alone, right? And I see this all the time. And why do I say this? Because I see this all the time from, like the Channel Awesome. Remember the change of channel controversy? And now the Vic Mignogna Kick Vic stuff that's going on right now. And if you guys don't know anything about that, the change of channel stuff is kind of irrelevant, but we were seeing some of the people from that leak into the Kick Vic stuff, where they just want the controversy to be relevant. They just want the controversies to get their names out there because they don't do anything else of importance. And, yeah, she won an Oscar. Brie Larson did win an Oscar. For a movie nobody saw, for a movie not a lot of people saw, just a few people here and there. She's out there promoting her new film Unicorn Store right now that she made a couple of years ago that's getting their big Netflix release really soon here. They need to do whatever they can to keep her in the public eye, to keep her name out there, to keep her relevant, because she is so immemorable. And I think that's one of the issues and one of the problems that they've had with Captain Marvel is that when they cast her, she looks really great on resume. Okay, she was in Scott Pilgrim. That was a huge fan favorite movie. She was in Kong Skull Island. She won an Oscar. Great resume. But you kind of need somebody a little more memorable. So what happens when you don't have somebody memorable? You have to make them memorable. You have to create the buzz. You have to create news about them, right? There's a thing I learned about from an old black and white movie called Wild Guitar, directed by Ray Dennis Steckler, one of my favorite B-movie obscure directors, starring Arch Hall Jr. of all people, from, if you guys probably know him from Ega. And in this movie, he plays a rock star, basically, like a kid trying to be a rock star, goes to LA to be a rock star, name's Bud Eagle. He ends up in a meeting with like an executive type sort of marketing PR label representative played by his real life father. And the whole entire purpose of this meeting is to say, okay, here's your fan club. We're paying all these people to be your fan club. We're paying these people to talk about you. We're paying these people to start a fad based on your name. Your name's Bud Eagle, so we're going to give eagle feathers. And we're going to pay the radio stations to play your songs. And we're going to pay the high school kids or encourage them. We're going to give them access. We're going to give them free photos and stuff. And we're going to give them an incentive to get your name out there as this buzzola is the word that they used in this movie. And that's kind of what a lot of this is to me. A lot of this is, she needs to talk, she needs something controversial to say. Every time I see that, the word that pops into my head is buzzola, and I do want to use that because you're creating buzz. You're paying people to create buzz about something. Look at the Captain Marvel trolls that come out of the woodwork to go and write negative comments on a person's channel. What happens when I don't want to watch a channel? I just unsubscribe and move on, right? I don't harass, bully, call people names on the channel if I don't watch them. I just move on. So clearly to me, there's going to be probably a mixture of people who are either hired by marketing firms. And we were talking about this a little last night on Creepy Little Books channel. We've been doing these kind of impromptu, sort of interesting paranormal and occult sort of discussions, but they kind of go into pop culture because everything's sort of related. Everybody's related in all these different ways. And we were talking about, yes, that people are paid good money to troll things. You have people on Twitter who are paid good money just to be Twitter trolls. Wow, I can't even say it. They make good money to do that. You get people who are confirmed to be hired from marketing, PR firms. They might not be hired by Disney exactly, but they're hired by a company that's hired by Disney, or a company that's hired by a company that's owned by and in the pocket of Disney. So you get all these layers of stuff, and it's all buzzola. It's all propaganda. It's all crazy. It's why Captain Marvel was a hit. They stacked the deck, right? They made Captain Marvel be in as many theaters as possible. Nobody was getting turned away to see Captain Marvel. They bought a lot of tickets themselves. They did a lot of stuff like the GoFundMes to inflate the numbers. They raised the prices on the preview days. They stacked the theater scheduling so that pretty much every 15 minutes there was a Captain Marvel movie showing somewhere. They did a lot of things to make sure this movie was an absolute hit, and I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. So anytime I see that, whenever we have movies, especially coming from Disney, especially coming from Disney. I always question, okay, did they actually make this money? Did they actually do any of this? Because I know the little shady tactics, and yes, Captain Marvel did legit make, almost $1 billion now at the time of this movie, because it was given every opportunity and had every chance to succeed, right? It was made to succeed. This movie would not fail because of the Fox Disney merger, the stock prices. There was no way they were going to let this movie fail if they had to buy their own tickets to do so. And there's a lot of great videos and great YouTubers out there. Odin's Movie Blog has been doing great research into this. But frankly, I'm kind of tired of bringing a lot of attention to this, and I'm probably going to trickle down and scale back on some of these Captain Marvel and Brie Larson sort of videos until I have something really, really unique and good to say, because how many times can you just pick on her saying stupid shit without thinking, okay, is she really saying stupid shit? Or is this on purpose? Is this like a marketing tool just to get her name out there? Because here's the thing, like I always say, I think her heart's in the right place. I think, yes, diversity, inclusion, having representation even, it can be a good thing for some people. And yes, there's no reason to discriminate against anybody when you're hiring them for a job, unless they're totally shit at that job. And then in that case, you don't hire them, just plain and simple. So her kind of behind the scenes message of, bring it back to the original clip here. That message is it's a good message. Yes, we want more people of color and women of color to have the opportunity to be journalists. And that's how you say that sort of thing without saying, no, I don't want some 40-year-old white dude to tell me what worked and what didn't work in Wrinkle of Time. It wasn't made for him. That is the stupidest way to say that possible. The way to say that little quote in that line would be, the movie, yes, it's great that the critics have their opinions, but what do the core audience say? That's how you say it. What does the core audience for this movie say? Because here's the thing. Sometimes these 40-year-old white dude critics actually went to school for film, and they know what works technically. They know what works story-wise. That is one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing nowadays, just in general, is that we have so many people who don't understand the hero's journey. They don't understand storytelling. They don't understand sticking to their own universe. So maybe we need more of the 40-year-old white dudes to tell us like what works and what didn't work in some of these movies, because maybe they're more educated sometimes. Maybe they're not just hired based on some quota, And here's the thing, like I said, I am all for, 1000% for getting people the opportunities they need to succeed in life. If you're a person of color who wants to be a film critic, we definitely need more opportunities. We need more chances for people to succeed. At the same time, we need to be a little smarter when we throw out these messages. And this is why I think that possibly they're doing some of these things on purpose, just to kind of get her name out there. I've rambled long enough, but thank you guys so much for watching this. I am Mecha Random 42. You can send angry letters to P.O. Box 1566, Loveland, Colorado 80539. Also, I do unboxings from time to time. I got a pile started already for the next one. I will see you on the next video or live stream. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!